Hi guys, it's your girl Corporate Carolyn, and the corporate workday is over. As you can obviously see, I am not Corporate Carolyn, but I am Carolyn the wife. And so I just decided to stop by because someone asked me to share a video where I spoke to younger women who want to be wives. If you don't want to be a wife, if you have a horrible impression of marriage and you can think of a million reasons why you shouldn't be married, why it's not a good institution, how someone's going to do you wrong, how they're going to take everything that you have from you, turn this off right now. Go look at some of my other videos. This is not for you. I get it. Everyone doesn't want to be married, but there are some young women out there that do want to be married. And Auntie Carolyn has some advice that she'd love to share with you. Well, one of the first things I can share is that men are visual creatures, and they like to see you looking good. And so I have been married. In October, it'll be 33 years, if you can believe it. And I met my husband when I was in college, and I was 19, getting ready to turn 20. So I'm 58 now. So he met me, what is it? Like it's 2024. And that was like 1987. So that was 37 years ago, my husband met me. And the thing that got him is the thing that you need to keep them. So if you lured him with, nice form-fitted clothes and nice legs, that's how I lured my husband. It surely wasn't butt. And contrary to what this tight sundress is giving you, it certainly wasn't boobs, but he loves this kind of stuff. And so there's a song that used to be popular called "You Got to Give the People What They Want," or "Give the People What They Want." It's by the OJs, and so it goes, you got to give the people what they want. So my husband likes to see this kind of stuff. He loves feminine, and that's why I kind of got a kick out of Kevin Samuels when my youngest son showed me some of his videos from way back. Men tend to like feminine. And when women say, oh, well, it doesn't matter, what I'm wearing, or that I'm wearing a bonnet, or that, I'm wearing sweats all the time, and that I'm not dressing up, and that he comes home and I'm looking the same way that I did when he left, the average man does care. And so any woman who's thinking that men don't care, like, your hair's looking raggedy all the time, you don't bother to put on something nice for him to see, I think you're kidding yourself, and you're taking a person for granted. A lot of men, they like, the cute little underwear. And my husband had the nerve to tell me once that the little Fruit of the Looms that I saw at Walmart, that this was like during the height of kid raising and, like sports and all this stuff. And so I was like, they're bikinis, and like I like to wear just one color because I'm so boring. I wear black. And so, but I have a few gray now. But what was I going to say? So I would buy those little bikinis from Walmart, and then after a while he said, I don't really like those. And I'm like, indeed. And so I said, okay, so I switched to boy shorts. And like there's this lingerie place that I ran into in Canada once called La Vie en Rose. And so they had these cute little boy shorts that had champagne glasses on them. I guess they were to commemorate New Year's. And so I just bought up about 10 pairs. So almost every day I had like underwear with champagne bottle or glasses on them every once in a while. Well, this was about, I don't know, at least 10 years after that comment where I tried to improve my underwear game. And so then La Vie en Rose had these wonderful little boxer shorts underwear that have like a little pocket with a little black bow on it and a little button on it. Why is that on your underwear? I don't know, but he thinks it's cute. And for a man who met me when I was 19 and I'm 58, for him to still be looking, when I wear clothes like this, I have his full attention. And so you don't want him looking at other people. They can glance, but you at least want them to like what they see when they look at you. And some ladies will say, oh, that's so sexist, and why do you have to worry about that? I care about how he looks. I don't want him to go shave his head without at least taking into consideration what I want. So I'm not going to like do any radical dye jobs on my hair without checking with him. He would hate that. I mean, he likes the fact that I'm very consistent. And if you've come to my channel even for any length of time, you know that I'm a creature of habit. And so he actually likes that. He likes that my hair is consistently the same. It's not short one day, it's not, like hanging down my back another day. He doesn't like that. And in fact, he was the one who said make things believable. So when I wear my protective styles, you'll notice that they're pretty close to what my regular hair looks like. So when we go places, people aren't like, oh wow, I thought Carolyn's hair was one way and I thought it was another way, or this way or that way, because she's like going from different thing. That's the other thing. Whoever you marry, you really have to know who they are and appreciate that, because you want them to know you and appreciate you for what you like. So I know what he likes, and I try to give the people what they want, as so it were. And then so the person was saying, what makes good wifey material? Well, one, fortunately my husband was a leg man, so as we were dating, I let him see the legs. I wasn't covering them up. The thing that he liked the most is the thing that he saw the most. And then finding somebody that you can be friends with, where you can laugh and joke with, that's another thing. I think men really care if you are likable, your likability factor. The thing that Kevin Samuels talked about a lot of times was that some women don't seem agreeable, cooperative, and he said, I think those were 3 characteristics that a wife should have: being agreeable, smart, and being cooperative. And that's the other thing. You can be as strong-willed as you want to be, because I am strong-willed, but I'm cooperative and I'm willing to work with my husband. And so when we were dating, and he was saying he wanted to buy a house, did you want to put your money together, I'll save this, you save that, do you think you could do that? And I said, bet, because I grew up in the projects of Augusta, Georgia. I had never owned a home, and so I was really excited about, even though we're talking about a townhouse condo, I was very excited about the prospect of having something that belonged to me, something that I could raise a family in. And so when he said that, I started looking for because I'm in computer science, I started looking for a project, and he was surprised. I mean, I raised that money in record time, and we looked and we found a place, we pooled our resources together. And so by the time, I think we were 25 when we bought our first property. And so most men who actually want to put a ring on something, most men, they want someone that they could work with and they could build with. That's what I think a high value man is. Not this whole make $100,000, or more a year before he's even considered marriage material. I think that's something that social media and popular culture makes you think that a man has to have it all together before you can get married. I didn't have all of my stuff together. He had looked at me on my salary back then. He would have said, she's just a scrub, she's not going to be able to help contribute to the type of house that I ultimately want. And he might have discounted me. So by the same token, if I looked at him and said, well, he's making this back then, so he can't possibly be good husband material, then I would have been limiting my opportunity as well. Because I'm here to tell you, and I'm a little off topic for a second, stop asking men, how much they earn and what they do for a living. I think that that's something you find out maybe by the second or third date, definitely before you sleep with people. And people really should stop sleeping with people so quickly anyway. Just because men do that doesn't mean that women have to run around doing that. I'm so not a fan of that. But you came to me, I didn't come to you, right? So anyway, what I was going to say is that just because say a man might be making, let's say $30,000 a year, hypothetically. That doesn't mean that that's all he's capable of. That just means that's where he is at that point in time. You don't know. He might have a side hustle going. He might start a business. You guys might start a business together. He might get a second job. And then who knows, 5 years from now, he might get promoted and his salary will double. But the reason people get married is because you want to bring all of your resources together, not so that one person has the ultimate solution and pays all the bills. This whole thing about he needs to pay all of my bills, sometimes he might. I mean, if you guys work together and get to a great place where you need to be, and then say you want to stay home with the kids, then that's a great time. But in the early stages, that's the building time. That's where you're trying to buy something together. And that's what I was telling my youngest son years ago. That's why women get half, because they help build, and then you put your resources together and you build something beautiful. You build a family, you buy a home together. And so that brings me to another point. If you want to be good wifey material, you need to get what you want him to be. You need to get for yourself. You need to have good credit. If your credit isn't where you want it to be, start working on that while you wait to find your Mr. Right. I actually had to get my credit right because a certain person had used my credit card while I was in college and had run up the bill and hadn't paid it. And so when I got out of college, I had to pay that. And then when we were getting ready to buy a house, I had to write a letter and explain, what had happened. And then I had to get my credit just like to a wonderful point so we could even buy a house. So get your credit right. Work on yourself. Anything that you're having issues with, like say with your mother or with your father, while you wait, try to work on yourself, because I had things that I needed to work on. And one of the biggest things that I see a lot of women struggle with, if you weren't raised with a man in the home, then that kind of makes you difficult to work with a male figure. Like, case in point, I'll give you an example in my business. Like, my husband likes to drive used cars, and he doesn't want to buy a new car. My car is new, or it was new when I first got it, because he loves me and he doesn't want me to drive something busted. The wife drives the best car. But anyway, so he doesn't like to put money into new cars because he believes, and he has a finance degree, he believes as soon as you drive it off the lot, it drops in value, at least by 20%. And I think he is right. Cars don't appreciate, they depreciate. So like for people who are running around buying these really expensive cars, buying really expensive shoes and purses, those things depreciate. If somebody said, what is your net worth? If you added up all of those like Gucci bags, Gucci belts, I do have two, but they were gifts. I don't buy them. But anyway, if you add all that stuff up, it wouldn't really add a hill of beans to your net worth. Like things like houses, things like that, rental property, that kind of stuff adds to your bottom line. And you can say it's your net worth. You can use that. You can take equity and help pay for kids going to college, pay off debt, finish your house, pay off your student loan, or whatever you need to do if you need it, that type of stuff. But a lot of women are not thinking about those things. They're just thinking about the really expensive stuff. And trust me, you can be fly and beautiful and wear clothes from Ross. This was from Ross. I bought it in 2013. I think it was on sale, and it's probably because it's cut kind of small. And I think I may have gotten it for under $20. I just popped into a Ross, I saw it, and I wore it to my son's graduation party in 2013. So check out my videos that talk about, losing the weight and keeping it off, because it's definitely something that you can do. If I can do that at 58 and still be wearing this dress from almost 12 years ago, you can definitely do it, right? So anyway, so you want your credit right. You don't want to be in a lot of debt. I don't think my husband would have married me if I would have been in a whole lot of debt. I had my student loan, but any little consumer debt like credit cards that I had paid that off. He convinced me for us not to buy a car until we had bought our third property. like we had gotten 2 rental properties, and then we bought our first single family home. And then I really wanted a car, but we're riding around in his beaten up Toyota Celica that had mismatched hubcaps. So see, like, people would have said he wasn't a high value man. Mismatched hubcaps, and he had a stick shift. I couldn't drive a stick, and so he says, I'll teach you, but my mind is just not set up for driving a stick. And so for the most part, when I first got to the area where he lived after we graduated college, I was riding the bus, the subway. I didn't have a car until we moved into our house that we were going to have our children in and everything. And the funny thing is that for most people who don't know, if you haven't owned houses before, like I didn't know that having things show up on your credit like a car note, it lowers your buying power. So that means that we wouldn't have been able to afford the price for the house that we really wanted, or we would have been disqualified from a home loan altogether. So those are things that are important to a lot of high quality men, because to me, a high quality man is a man who loves his family, who knows how to treat you, and who's going to be there to help you take care of your kids. He's going to raise them. He's going to be there through thick and thin. He's going to come home at night. You're going to know where he is. There's not going to be any beating and cheating and all that stuff. And those are things that I grew up with when I was a kid in the projects of Augusta, Georgia. And even before that, where my dad was beating my mom. He was drinking. He was in jail. And so I didn't even have any good examples of what a good man looked like. Praise the Lord, I was stuck in the house while my mom was working, and I wound up watching shows like Little House on the Prairie, the Waltons, Good Times, things like that. Those were the only examples that I really saw of what a really good husband might be like, and what I wanted my husband, to treat me like. And so, I was like forming a picture in my mind. And for you to know, I wrote a letter to God when I was 19, because I was at Clemson University back in the 80s, and a lot of the guys there, they wanted Apollonia, they wanted Vanity 6. Even a guy who's darker than I am told me that he wanted a red bone and that I was too dark. And so I'm just like, really? I'm too dark, my butt's too little, and for a while I thought that I was going to date someone who was non-black, because a lot of the black guys didn't seem to be feeling me. And so like, I just got so frustrated, and there were so many men that wanted to sleep with you. And that's another thing. I was so glad that I didn't sleep with anybody, on that campus before I met my husband, because, he would have known about it, and people would have said things, and I don't think he's a person that would have liked that. So a lot of times we're ruining our chances with some of the high quality men, because I know popular culture will tell you, oh yeah, it's okay, the guys do it, so you can do the same thing that the guys can do. But they may say that, but men may not respect that, and they might not want to put a ring on that. That's real talk. It may not be fair, you may not like it, but that's real talk. And so when you talk about being wifey material, that's definitely something that you have to be considering. Your reputation, your credit score, your debt level, whether you're, being smart, cooperative, and agreeable. Oh, I was going to give you another example. Okay, like I was telling you about my husband with the cars, right? And so I just wanted to buy a new car, and like his birthday came along, and like the car that I was telling you about that was new, he gave it to me as a gift for my 26th wedding anniversary. And so I wanted to do the same for him. And, it was part of him to have a new car, for me and for him. And so what did I do? I went to, to the bank, and I got an approved loan for him to get a car. And I was just going to say, here you go pick out whatever you want. And so I gave it to him, and he was looking like, oh, okay, acting like he didn't know what it was. And I was like, why are you looking like that? This means you could just go to the car dealership, tomorrow, and just pick out something. And then he said, no, I'm happy with the car I have. And I was like, what do you mean? And then he's like, yeah, I'm happy with the car I have. And so here I was approved for a car loan. So I could have gotten us another car if I wanted to. And then he says, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want us to, have any more debt. I don't know, if we should have any more debt now. We should pay off this and we should pay off that and we should do this and we should do that. We need to start thinking about like different things for retirement and where we want to wind up. And then I was very annoyed, actually. I wanted to get another car at that moment. And so some women I know would have actually gone to the car lot and just bought another car. So I was like thinking I could do that if I wanted to, because I knew a number of women who said that they just went to a car lot and just bought a car and they just brought it home. That's not the way things work with my husband. We talk about stuff and we have to be in agreement on it. And he actually told me, no, we shouldn't do that. And then I listened. And even though I didn't grow up with a father in the home where I saw that type of dynamic, if my husband says we should wait and we should just save our money and do something else, I think it's best for our family if we do blah and blah. Like he has this vision, for our family. And even though I'm strong-willed and I don't want to listen, a lot of times I listen to reason and to logic. And this isn't just for decoration, I am a Christian. I believe that my husband is the head of the household because, he loves the Lord. And I know that he would lead our family to a good place. He listens to me because I bring wisdom and I do have good advice and we talk things out. So if he said no to a car, there would be no going around his back or behind his back, going to the dealership, rolling up with a car. It just doesn't work like that. And if you want to be good wife material, you need to come to the table ready to be on a team, not to run things and not to try to be the boss of everything. And men don't seem to like it when you're trying to be controlling or when you're demeaning or try to emasculate them. You got to let a man be a man, and make a man feel like a man and show him respect, because you don't know what he's getting out in the street, like at work, or he might be doing a job he doesn't like and he might need you to build him up and to encourage him so that he can become that superstar that you want him to be. But you have to be a soft place to land, and also a person who says, oh, it's okay, babe, we got this, let's pool our little resources together and then we'll figure out how to do this. You might start out with a condo and move to a townhouse and then keep building up your resources together, and then you move into that single family, but you do it together and you do it by cooperating and not by, like being combative and angry. Like one time there was a house I wanted and I was telling the lady that I worked with that, I really, really wanted it because it had this beautiful fireplace that I liked. And then I was telling her that my husband, he was saying that the place wasn't worth it, and that, there was going to be a correction to the market. And at some point, things were going to just be back where they needed to be, back in line. And so she said, well, if I were you, I wouldn't, I would just like hold out on, and get him to see things my way. And I'm like, where they do that at? That's not going to fly at my house. And so, and I said, no, I don't play games like those. And that's another thing. Men don't like you to play games. And so guess what? My husband wound up being right. The foreclosure crisis happened shortly thereafter that, and that house did drop in price by almost $300,000. Could you imagine the devastation that our family would have experienced if I wanted to force him to do something that he knew better? And so another thing, I actually asked my son, who's younger, who's in his 20s, of what he thinks that women should consider, because I know I'm talking a lot longer than I wanted to. One of my sons said maybe work on communication, because women tend to make men guess to figure out their feelings. So I translate that to mean use your big girl words, but lovingly and respectfully. Like say, well, it hurt my feelings the other day when you said that you didn't think I looked good in that dress or something. Or it hurt my feelings when you didn't listen to me when I was giving my opinion on blah and blah. Or it hurt my feelings when and I start stuff like that. And I've changed my language. This is stuff I wish I would have known before. Just don't start sentences with you always, you never, because extremes, really they're exaggerations. They don't apply, because no one always does anything. No one never does anything. You wouldn't appreciate that if he were talking to you that way. And then also, in terms of doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you, I think that kind of fits in with that as well. And so, surprisingly, my son said, be caring, always show interest in things a man cares about, have a willingness to get to know what he likes and dislikes doing. And I feel a little cut by that because I hate sports and I don't watch sports. But what I do is I'll make sure food is available, and then I'll get the heck off the level, so that he can watch his sports in peace, because he doesn't want me to ask the dumbhead questions that I tend to ask, or make the comments that I love to make, like, I like those uniforms. Yeah, UNC, they have pretty uniforms. I love that powder blue. That's the kind of stuff I'm saying. Oh, their outfits are a cute color. He's not trying to hear that. He wants to watch the game. But other than that, definitely care about what they're interested in, and find common areas where you guys can do stuff together, because you can do all the things that you want to do separately, but there have to be some things that that you enjoy together, like oh, that's our show, watch a show with them, or we like to listen to music, or we like to play tennis. My husband and I like to walk, and so every weekend we go for walks together, and I really enjoy that, and we wind up talking a lot. So my son is right, communication is definitely one of the other things. And he said, lastly, I can think of, you might not want to say, this is a note to me, never mind. He said, someone who enjoys being around kids, who wants to have a motherly role, not the women with attitude and get mad when a man tries to show chivalry. And that's true. Some women actually don't like it when a man holds a door for them. I want a man to hold a door for me. I like that. Or to open the door for me, or to, pull out a chair if I can't get it, or to come and say, well, you want me to get that trash, or you want me to, wash your car? Yeah, I want you to wash my car. That's great. Praise the Lord. So just being nice. Oh yeah, and not frowning. There's some women who won't even smile. You have to be fun. And then when someone says, what do you bring to the table? Just that whole, your degree and your job and what you own, those things aren't impressing men. Like if you said, well, I'm fun, I'm loving, I'm loyal, I'm honest, I want to raise a family, I want to get with my life partner and build a wonderful life. I think those are answers that men would prefer, other than the whole, I don't know, feminist type thing where you might say, I'm a strong black woman. I don't know who that's impressing other than other women. A lot of times that's not making you appear to be more of a wife material than saying, I'm looking for the right guy that I can spend my life with, that I can build something with, that, we can, raise a family. I think surprisingly good guys of value want to hear that. And so if you're looking for a quality man, a man of high value, or whatever you want to call it, like I said, stop worrying about the income. It'll get there if you're really the strong, black woman that you say you are, the strong white woman, because I'm like, all women are strong. So I don't even know why we have to throw that black in there. So if you're a strong woman, you can get together with a strong man, and you guys can build a wonderful and beautiful future. But you just have to realize that it's a team. It's not, all about you, all about him, and you work together to build something. And I think that has helped make me the best wife material that I could be. That my husband, he immediately let me know he was trying to build something. Do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, that I surely do. And so here you have it. It'll be 33 years in October. So I think it really worked. But like I said, work on that attitude thing. As my son mentioned, men don't like combative things. Women, they don't want to come home and fight. You have to fight out in the, the workforce and, the world, the corporate American stuff. No one really wants to fight at home. And so if you're constantly, butting heads, no one's going to marry you, and they don't want to put the ring on it, even if you fooled them, into marrying you, you may not stay married long. So that's definitely something, and I've worked on that. I've reduced my combative ways, and I'm still working on, trying to be as pleasant as I can be, but this goes a long way. If they like what they're seeing, I think that really helps. If I was wearing my ratty robe or all the time, it might be a different story. And he says a lot of times, if you weren't so cute, and I'm like, thank you. But I said, by the same token, if you weren't so cute either. So it goes both ways. And hopefully I didn't talk too long, and hopefully that answers some of your questions. If not, feel free to let me know, and I'll make another video. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for stopping by, and I look forward to talking to you again in the near future. Until the next time, have a good one. Bye.